Hello, everyone, and welcome Blue Jays Breakdown. I'm so grateful you're here. If you're enjoying this content and would like to see more videos like this, please support the channel by subscribing.
The big news to go over today is the Toronto Blue Jays have made multiple moves, and as we inch closer and closer to the beginning of the regular season, the Jays have made an interesting signing somebody who has some very intriguing upside. We're going to break down exactly who we're talking about, of course, they're signing, but also what it means going forward. But not only that, we have Anthony Santander revealing the truth behind his injury and how it came to be this serious in what was supposed to be his big bounce back year for the Toronto Blue Jays. And some comments from John Schneider on Kazuma Okamoto. You're going to want to stay tuned for all of this and more on the episode. Before we get into it, a quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. You guys have been beasts of the support. Now, folks, I had a video earlier today with Keegan Matheson. It went fantastic, but we have some moves to break down today. And about 20 minutes ago, a bit earlier than that, but the Blue Jays have announced that they've made multiple roster moves. And you can see here, they've claimed Ben Cowles off of waivers from the Cubs. And right-handed pitcher Bowden Francis has been placed on the 60-day IL. So Ben Cowles officially now has been not only signed but added to the 40-man roster because he was claimed off of waivers. We're gonna dive into to Cowles and everything like that on this video and kind of what it means going forward. But of course, just a reminder, Bowden Francis is now done for a very long time, 60-day IL. But let's dive into Ben Cowles. They might be looking at this and saying, okay, he's an infielder. What does he bring to this team? His stats aren't pretty, but he does have some intriguing upside. Now, we can see here from Thomas Hall, the Blue Jays have added a bit more infield depth here, claiming Ben Cowles from the Cubs, who's a versatile glove-first infielder. He slashed 235, 300, and 371 with a 71 WRC plus at AAA, but stole 18 bags in 26 attempts. So, a couple different things here. Obviously, this isn't going to be a groundbreaking signing. He's hitting, below league average by 29 points in AAA. However, they needed some infield depth and they got it. And ultimately, this is somebody that they're probably going to use in a variety of roles. And we know the Toronto Blue Jays, John Schneider, they like to use their players and obviously, right, but move them around effectively. Miles Straw, all these different guys. So adding somebody who has speed, who has the ability to, steal some bases, it does make sense, especially given the fact that Bowden Francis was already going on the IL. Now, at the same time, maybe they could have went out and trades are still on the horizon. They're still looking at a multitude of options, but they could have went out and gotten somebody a little bit more exciting. But at the same time, this is someone who was the Cubs' 14th prospect last year in 2025. Versatile defender, needed some infield depth, and he moved. So this is somebody who had some upside in the past. Again, the 14th ranked prospect in the Cubs system, according to Baseball America. Nothing crazy. But at the same time, he does have speed, he does have stolen bag upside, and he's a very good defender, something that ticks all the boxes for what the Jays are looking for. Now, you can look at his stats, like hasn't really had a great offensive year since 2024, where he put up a pretty good. I mean, you can look at it there, though, right? Like, look at 2024, and he had some years with, or some teams with 900 OPS, 955 OPS, 829. So he has had upside in the past. At the end of the day, though, he's 25. He's going to be used as a bench bat or a bench kind of defensive replacement, a bench guy for the Jays if he gets up to the big leagues. But more than likely, he's going to be that versatile guy who's going to come up from AAA when the Jays need more infield help. Because, I mean, you look at their infield depth, like on the surface, sure, it's decent. But, Okamoto can play third, Barger can play third, Clement could play third, and Schneider could even play third. But beyond that, your backup shortstop's Ernie Clement. After that, it's Leo Jimenez. Second base, Davis Schneider. But at the same time, you'd rather have somebody who's actually a really good defender, being able to fill in at second base, being able to fill in at third base, shortstop, wherever it ends up being. And they can move guys around, and Ben Cowles can be that guy, right? Ben Cowles can be that guy. So it's intriguing. It's something. Wanted to get out to you because ultimately it is a move that, he's on the 40-man roster right now, I believe. So it's something to keep an eye out on, especially as spring training approaches. And like, Keegan said in the video earlier today, watching guys like Davis Schneider, watching guys like now Ben Cowles, seeing how they actually get going. I believe it's Cowles, by the way. I searched up the pronunciation. Let me know if I'm wrong down below. Baseball Reference said Cowles, but I could be incorrect there. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. I know a lot of you are probably going to say he's not going to make an impact, horrible hitter. He's a good defender, and that's something the Jays ironically needed out of their infield depth, which they didn't really have before. But let's pivot now to Anthony Santander, because a bunch of quotes came out from him about his injury, about how it got to this point, and he spoke out. And he spoke out about his shoulder surgery and rehab. And he said, unfortunately, things happen that are not in your control. I know some people think differently, but I know who I am. I know I'm trying my best to be on the field with my teammates. Now, I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about with the, some people think differently. I guess that was, I'm sure there's some fans out there that think not he's faking his injury or anything like that. Because I think, no one thinks he's faking his injury, but that he wasn't really, giving it his all. He clearly is trying to come back, and this was a major setback, right? Like being out for 6 months. He was supposed to be that bad. And we're going to be looking at a report probably tomorrow morning and over the next few weeks. The Jays still have work to do. They could still add one more bat, and I spoke about it with Keegan earlier today. They made the good additions. One more bat would make a ton of sense, especially a lefty masher, depending on how Davis Schneider does. Santander was supposed to be that, and he said he hopes that, like in 2025, the Blue Jays are winning, which will give him time to take it slower and build strength. We'll see where we're at when we get there. If it doesn't work, obviously the other option is to wait until next year, but I hope it doesn't go that way. And this is scary, right? Because you look at it now, I mean, he is already opening the door to the potential of him missing the entire year, which is ludicrous, right? They signed him to that deal. They rushed him back last year a few times. I mean, they got him back for the playoffs. It didn't go well. They cut him out. Didn't really make an impact in the World Series. I just want to see him healthy. And if it takes the whole year, I mean, sure, make sure he's healthy in 2020. I guess that would be 2027. Which means there might be an impending lockout in 2027. So he might not touch the field in 2028, and that's obviously year 4 of his contract. I don't know exactly, technically probably year 3, because I don't know how it works with the lockout, and I don't think they're going to miss the whole year, right? But the point is, lockout aside, Santander's contract has aged like milk so far, and I don't even know what to really think about it. And he said that the midseason MRIs in 2025 did not show the tear in his labrum, and that he and the Blue Jays opted for rehab, but when he ramped up hitting this winter and it felt uncomfortable, those MRIs did show the torn labrum. So it's different than what he was experiencing last year, or at least a similar injury, but at the end of the day, more serious. He was supposed to get like everyday playing time. And obviously they acquired Jesus Sanchez. You now have Nathan Lucas. You have Miles Straw, George Springer, Anthony. You can see Anthony Santander projected now to be 2% of left field if he gets in. It's the unfortunate reality of, injuries, right? Like Santander wants to be out there. Every Jays fan, I'm sure, would want him out there because of the fact that he has that power upside. Though I'm excited to see Jesus Sanchez. And obviously, the big acquisition of this offseason was Dylan Cease. How is he going to do? That's going to be a huge question mark, though I don't think Dylan Cease is actually a big question mark. I think he's a very consistent pitcher, at least as it pertains to getting innings out of him. He's been up and down. He's had some Cy Young caliber years with the White Sox now. Then he's had some really bad years with the Padres. We're going to have to see how everything unfolds, but let me know down below. Do you blame Anthony Santander? Do you think that the Jays handled it incorrectly? Let me know, because it is ultimately going to be a big conversation point, because he's making $100 million or whatever it is, 92, and then options for year 5. It's going to be interesting. But speaking of options and new signings, Okamoto recently acquired. John Schneider spoke about what he's looking for and looking at in spring training thus far. And he said, I think his work has been very serious and somewhat manly, as he said the other day. And that's, of course, referring to Okamoto coming out and saying that he's very manly and then joking. He seems to be fitting fantastic, right? Keegan Matheson kind of had a full view, kind of following him for a day. Seems like a fantastic player, pulls a lot of balls, hit a home run that Vladdy was saying wasn't a home run. We'll cover that in the video tomorrow morning. He looks great. Can he replicate the production of Bo Bichette? Like, probably not 1 for 1, but if other guys step up, things will be good. And it's going to be exciting. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. A nice double upload for you all today. I'll have another video coming very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching.
The Toronto Blue Jays have shaken up their roster in a big way. And today we are diving straight into the latest moves, what they mean, and the truth behind Anthony Santander's injury. So stay locked in, because this one matters. And after this quick intro, welcome to Blue Jays Breakdown, and please subscribe right now as we push toward 2K subscribers, because I bring you every single update here on Blue Jays Breakdown, and you do not want to miss what is coming next. The Blue Jays officially claimed Ben Cowles off waivers from the Chicago Cubs and placed Bowden Francis on the 60-day injured list, immediately adding Cowles to the 40-man roster and giving this team more infield flexibility as the regular season approaches. Cowles is known as a versatile defender who can handle multiple infield spots, and while his AAA numbers were not eye-popping, he brings speed, energy, and depth that this roster needed heading into a long season. Last year in AAA, he hit .235 with a .300 on-base percentage and a .371 slugging percentage, along with 18 stolen bases, showing that he can impact the game with his legs and glove even when the bat is still developing. He was once ranked as the 14th prospect in the Cubs system according to Baseball America, and at 25 years old, he still has room to grow. The Blue Jays are not expecting him to be a star, but they value his defense and his ability to move around the diamond when injuries or matchups demand adjustments. With Kazuma Okamoto, Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider, Addison Barger, and Leo Jimenez all factoring into the infield picture, Cowles gives manager John Schneider another option to rotate pieces without losing defensive stability. This move may not grab headlines, but it strengthens the foundation of the roster as spring training competition heats up. Now to Anthony Santander, who revealed details about his shoulder injury and recovery process. He explained that mid-season imaging did not initially show the torn labrum, leading the team to pursue rehab instead of surgery. However, when he ramped up hitting during the off-season and discomfort returned, new scans confirmed the tear, forcing the difficult decision to undergo surgery. Santander made it clear he wants to be on the field and competing with his teammates, and he hopes the team's success will allow him the proper time to fully regain strength without rushing back. The Blue Jays had counted on Santander's power in the lineup, especially after acquiring players like Jesus Sanchez and adding pitching reinforcement with Dylan Cease, but now patience becomes key. A healthy return is the priority, and the organization understands that long-term results matter more than short-term risks. Meanwhile, John Schneider spoke highly of Kazuma Okamoto's early presence in camp, praising his focused work ethic and smooth transition into the clubhouse. Okamoto has already flashed his power during workouts, and the team is watching closely to see how his bat translates over a full season. Every move, every injury update, and every breakout performance is shaping this season in real time. So if you want non-stop coverage and honest breakdowns, make sure you subscribe, help us reach 2K subscribers, and stay tuned right here on Blue Jays Breakdown for all the latest.